All right. The February 3rd, 2025 meeting of the Bay City City Commission will come to order. The clerk will give the invocation, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Prince.
Here.
Coakley.
Here.
Bernie Obershaw. Tenney.
Here.
Hilliker.
Here.
DeWitt.
Here.
Rumberg.
Here.
Charlebois.
Here.
Morris.
Here.
Mr. Mayor.
Present. Is there a motion to excuse Commissioner Bernie Overshaw? She said she had to step out, I guess. Commissioner Prince.
Motion to excuse Commissioner Bernie Omershaw.
Second. Commissioner Coakley.
Second.
All right. Is there any objections? Seeing no one object, Commissioner Bernie Overshaw is excused, and we have a quorum. First order of business calls for presentations. Today's presentation, we have the fourth quarter report for Hay Bay City for 2024, and we have Sarah Parker representing the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. So, turn it over to Mrs. Parker.
Just working on getting our presentation up. Good evening, Mayor Gerard, Commissioners, and Bay City. My name is Sarah Parker, and I'm the Director of Workforce Development with the award-winning Talent Attraction and Retention Initiative, Hay Bay City. First and foremost, congratulations on your recent elections and appointments. It's an exciting time for Bay City, and we're honored to be here today to share an update on the work being done to support our business community, workforce, and the residents. Through our Hay Bay City initiative, we're committed to strengthening Bay City's economic landscape and ensuring we continue to be a place where businesses, workers, and families can thrive. We'd like to begin with a brief financial update. As of the end of quarter 4, the Hay Bay City city balance stands at $185,786. Throughout the fourth quarter, we strategically allocated resources to maximize our impact. The categories we've broken these down to for tonight's presentation are salaries and wages, marketing efforts, community outreach, which totaled in quarter 4 a spending of $37,047.82. These investments directly support our workforce development and marketing, employer engagement, and talent attraction efforts. A core component of our work is ensuring a strong and sustainable workforce. Here's a snapshot of our 2024 workforce engagement efforts. In 2024, we had a total of 192 employer signups, with 16 new in quarter 4. In quarter 4, we had 114 jobs posted, with those job positions being viewed about 32,000 times. Our job page was viewed almost 27,000 times, and we received in 2024 202 total resumes from job seekers looking to come to our area, looking to work in our area. In quarter 4 alone, we had 60 resumes received. We also had 989 apply clicks and 111 applications, and just to clarify the difference between those two, on our platform TrueJob, there's an option for the company to either have apply now or apply at company website. When they have apply now, that's the apply click metric. When they have apply at company website, that's the application metric. And just a reminder that this is the same end metric that the MEDC uses. Additionally, in 2024, we facilitated 227 face-to-face meetings with employers, educators, local workforce development agencies, and other community partners to discuss recruiting strategies and workforce needs. In quarter 4, we facilitated 39 visits from individuals exploring employment opportunities in our area. And in 2024, we connected 74 job seekers with potential employers, 11 of those happening in quarter 4. Our goal is to not only bring new talent into our workforce, but also provide ongoing support to job seekers, including high-level professionals, through resume assistance and direct employer connections. We recognize that workforce development is not just about job postings. It requires strong partnerships and proactive engagement with both educational institutions and businesses. In 2024, we conducted over 20 direct Hay Bay City presentations, reaching employers, job seekers, and community partners. We also strengthened collaborations through work-based learning initiatives with local high schools and colleges. We also work with the Bay Aranac ISD Counselor Tour Network to align educators with workforce needs. Through the SVSU Employer Partnership, we're working hard to keep our graduates in our community. And we also work with Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works to enhance hiring and training efforts. These collaborations are helping to shape a talent pipeline that supports the long-term economic success of Bay City. As we move into 2025, we remain committed to innovative workforce solutions and talent retention strategies. Some key initiatives for the coming year include new employer-targeted newsletters to streamline jobs and hiring needs, international student employer education to explore workforce expansion opportunities, expanding work-based learning initiatives with Saginaw Valley State University, Northwood University, Delta College, and other local high schools. We also will continue our work with the housing, childcare, and transportation committees in the area to help remove barriers to employment. And now I'd like to hand it off to Annabelle Schweiger to discuss the marketing side of Hay Bay City.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Annabelle Schweiger. I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager for the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce in Hay Bay City. Q4 website views were at 95,000 and users are at 36,000. We did see a decline in views and users since Q3 of 2024. However, we surpassed our growth goal of 100% from Q4 of 2023 in both categories. Job page views for Q4 are at 51,000, with most of those views coming from Bay City, an unspecified area. The lack of data here is due to the user's privacy settings and IP address data, so we are unable to track that location. Along with the Detroit metro area, Ashburn, Virginia, New York, and Bangor Charter Township. A majority of the traffic is organic social, which means that it's coming to our website from non-ad clicks on our social media platforms, followed by paid search, which is our Google Ads, and then direct search, which is knowing and typing our URL into a search engine. This is great because it indicates strong brand awareness and recognition. Here you will see social media analytics that I'll summarize on the next slide. Hay Bay City is active on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. In compiling analytics across all three platforms, we have a total of 1.16 million views in Q4, over 17,000 followers, 3,793 email subscribers to our newsletter, and 1,266 SMS subscribers, bringing our total audience to roughly 1,204,000 individuals. Here is our Q4 content breakdown. Some highlights were the My Career Quest live stream, Rotary Vocational Day, and the SVSU Employment Fair. Please visit our socials to see all of our content for Q4. As we kick off Q1, you will see some of this content already being shared on our platforms, such as the Dow Apprenticeship Program, the Great Lakes Job Fair, and ice fishing on the Saginaw Bay and River. For upcoming placemaking in Q1, Hay Bay City will be partnering with the Bay County Library System for an event we are calling Cozy Up at the Library with Hay Bay City. The intent of this collaborative event is to bring further attention and support to the library's ongoing winter reading program going on until March 1st. Our event will take place on February 12th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. We will have a table inside the library, encouraging people to stop by and see us, to grab a coffee and donut before they sit down and log their hours for the program. We will be promoting this event prior to, sharing information about the program, how to sign up, and why they should.
It's important to acknowledge the broader challenges that we face. By 2045, Bay County is projected to experience a 19% general population decline and a 24% workforce decline, a trend that we are all actively working to reverse. Bay County is also currently the oldest county in Michigan per capita, and before Hay Bay City, we were the only region in the state without a dedicated talent and attraction and retention strategy. We were 15 years behind other communities, but we are making progress. Reversing these trends will take all of us, the government, our businesses and schools, and our community members, working together to build a vibrant and thriving future for Bay City. In closing, I want to again congratulate our newly elected mayor and commissioners. Your leadership will be critical in shaping the future of Bay City, and we at Hey Bay City look forward to working alongside you. As we move into 2025, we ask for your continued support in our workforce development and business attraction efforts. If we work together, we can ensure that Bay City is not just keeping up, but leading the way in economic and workforce growth. Thank you for your time, and we welcome any questions you may have.
All right, thank you, Sarah and Annabelle. Questions? Commissioner Tenney.
Well, thank you for the presentation and for the work you do. I do have a few questions, though. The first one being, how much has our population changed since Hey Bay City began, I guess?
I actually don't have those numbers in front of me, but I would be happy to calculate that and get back to our commissioners.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then my other thing too is, are people moving here for these jobs? And why I ask that and connected to it is there criteria for these jobs being attractive to out-of-towners? Because I think Michigan Sugar is probably a great place to work. I'm sure a lot of people around here make a living wage by working there, but are we attracting talent by posting Michigan Sugar jobs, or are we just getting jobs for folks that are already here?
So I do know through my efforts with working with job seekers a lot, and I do have a database that we sort by where they're coming from. Most of our Bay County people, we're just helping with placement, but I do have quite a few that are moving from out of state. Their reason for moving here, out of region. The reason for moving here is very different. Some of them have aging parents that they're moving back for, so the job is a different source for them. I have a few that are moving here strictly for jobs, but we're working with our companies to be competitive. Some of the other areas, the pay and the cost of living just are more appealing to some of our other job seekers, but it is a continued effort with that attraction, and that is why we're working with our local universities. We see a lot of them leaving when we're trying to let them know that they have opportunities here.
Okay, thank you for that. And then also, how many people have been in charge of Hey Bay City? Because in the past couple of years, I swear there's been like 3 of y'all. Am I mistaken there?
To my knowledge, the chamber it's always been the house for Hey Bay City. There was someone in my role when it first started, and then Annabelle had taken over Phil's.
Okay, so a couple people through the chamber anyway. Okay, and then speaking of Phil, can you share why he didn't renew his contract? Because I feel like that storytelling piece that he did a really great job at was a big part of Hey Bay City. In fact, probably the most notable if you ask anybody on the street. So what's up with the storytelling?
Hello, good evening. I'm Megan Seaman. I'm the president and CEO of the Bay Area Chamber. Phil's contract, it was not renewed. Phil had taken on additional work in companies like, states like North Carolina, South Carolina, work with the MEDC. He also owns Storyville. He's doing Riverfront Saginaw, and also has other work. He is an amazing, amazing storyteller and a dear friend of mine. Actually, when I was at McLaren, we hired him, and he's still doing work, and just an amazing person. But this work that we were looking for was 40 hours worth of work per week, and what Phil came to us and said was that he was not able to give it that amount of time due to the expansion of the work that he was seeking on with the state. So I actually congratulated him because some of the work that he was doing with us at the local level is now going to have statewide implications and is bringing Bay City right along with it. We still work side by side. We still talk. And to allude to that, Marlena left to take a role that was offered to her from a Bay Area Community Foundation, which was a brand new role, and that's exciting. I know she's not in that role right now, and she moved on to Great Lakes Bay Health Center, so transition does happen. So if there's any other questions or comments surrounding that, I'm happy to take those.
Yeah, I wonder, so what's being done to fill Phil fills shoes, right?
Absolutely, I'd happy to take that. So this is shared with the committee. We have a Hay Bay City Committee, which has a city commission representative, and congratulations, Commissioner Hilliker. I understand that you were recently appointed to that, so we look forward to you joining. But as was shared at the last few committee meetings that we have, Annabelle Schweiger, who used to be part-time, over here. Annabelle, behind me, used to be part-time with marketing and part-time with membership engagement. And I don't know if you noticed, but we recently expanded our staff and hired a full-time membership engagement person. Her name is Amy Culver. She's taken that portion of the role over, and so now 50% of Annabelle's time is dedicated to doing the marketing side, so the social media, the content collection. The other 50%, some of the things that Phil had done, was the story writing and the photography, to which we have been engaging local photographers, Ashley Brown, Brady Keniston in Essexville. So local photographers who live in our community, we're now using to be able to see from their vantage point things that are happening. We're also working on more videos. I don't know if anybody saw the video that we put out this week. We had downtown Bay City restaurant and owner Maria Otto and her little pastry shop doing about a 1.5-minute video. We have some stuff on the fishing. We have the Bay Area ISD. So you'll still see content. It won't be through Phil's eyes because he has his own creative, great genius style. But Bay City is seen through many different eyes in many different ways. And so the fact that we're still able to storytell with other great people who live and work in our community, whether it's through photography, through video, through online socials, some podcasting, still doing some stuff with our partners on the regional level. So not with our Hay Bay City funds, but still content storytelling. That's still gonna happen. It will be different, but I believe will still be great. And we're still looking for content people. We did put that out as an RFP, so it was a very transparent process where we were looking for content copywriters to fulfill that. So that is still out there. We're still seeking those. We would love to work with many of our amazing, talented residents who have an eye for getting that photography. So if you know somebody, please send them our way.
All right, thanks.
You all set, Commissioner? Okay, Commissioner DeWitt.
All right, first, I looked up the number since 2022, Bay County, because they don't do annuals for the city, just the county for our size. We've lost about 400 people since 2022 when this project was passed, just for information. I'm glad we finally got the agenda before the meeting. It helps us to kind of digest it beforehand and form our questions here. I do want to note that a local group that is only on Facebook and shares public information and current information got about 10 million views in a month with 52,000 followers with no budget spent on advertising. I know it's a different zone than Hay Bay City, but like there are pages out there that do that. And to my knowledge, I don't even know if they're getting paid. As for the finances, I did go back to the last presentation because I've been tracking this forever. And the end of quarter balance between last time and this time was off by like $1.43, which is not terribly important, but it is like there's a small rounding issue with that. And I do want to thank my fellow commissioner from the 4th Ward for putting the requirements up for finances. If I extrapolate the wages from this quarter, it's 93% of the budget spent on wages. If that was constant through all quarters, that's $293,000 of the city's $500,000 spent on wages and not activities directly. And I think that's something that is at least a yellow flag for me at this point. If I worked at a nonprofit that did less than 10% of the revenue in as programs, I would not be that nonprofit for very long.
Can I clarify?
Sure.
Just to be clear, so we have funds that are drawn down from the county as well and from the city. So it rotates. It's likely that quarter all of our activities was drawn down from the county side. When those, when an invoice comes in, we don't take an invoice and say 50% comes from the city, 50 from the county. I think George is over there. When we draw down, we go back and forth between the city and the county on wages. There might be 2 quarters where no wages are withdrawn. So it definitely is not 90% because I agree with you that that's not something that we would do. The majority of the work that we do is with our people. We do have dollars that are spent on the resources, but as you could see, the face-to-face meetings that Sarah was talking about that she does, it's a person who's doing the work. The dollar spent sometimes is the human capital that is accomplishing these face-to-face meetings, sitting down with businesses, getting them signed up, meeting with individuals, doing the community work. So a lot of it is wages because it's people, it's not process, but there is funds that are there for the marketing and the advertising, but because we have two different accounts we draw it down for, that's why that it's not the same every month. But I appreciate you bringing that forward.
Okay, the other thing I have is about the job board itself. I went to the job board on Saturday. There were 64 listed jobs from 13 total companies. Only 40 of them were considered full-time, and 70% of the jobs listed did not list a pay at all. And I think that we as funders of this should try to push to have that higher. And then you did mention that need to be more competitive with pay. A quarter of those that did have pay listed, they were under 15 an hour. And that was mostly the full-time jobs that were less than $15 an hour, which even in our low cost of living area is not sustainable for a long time. And then Saginaw Valley's listings look like they just pulled from their Saginaw Valley website, and one was listed from Macomb County. So I don't know if there's a way to kind of work with them to make sure that the jobs they're listing for Base County are actually in Bay County.
So I am actually working with our employers right now to work on at least posting a salary range. It's one of those things, it's an old practice to post the salary, so it's hard to get some of these companies to change their practices, but that's with those face-to-face meetings. I am working to get those salaries, at least a salary range posted. So we are working with our employers to get that posted. In regards to the Saginaw Valley is one of our funders, and they, in their contract, they are able to post open opportunities outside of Bay County. So the way that their contract is written, and we scrape those jobs using AI. So those come through because of the contract with Saginaw Valley. They're able, Saginaw Valley, McLaren, and Dow are able to post outside of Bay County.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Prince.
Thank you for being here today. You brought up a little bit about bringing people into the area. Can you talk to me a little bit? Do you work with them at all regarding housing challenges and locating in the area? Because, I mean, it's one thing to attract them to a job that might be in the city or Bay County. It's another thing to get them to live here. So can you talk a little bit about those challenges?
So housing, as you all know, housing, transportation, and childcare are big barriers to employment. And working with housing, it's slow, but I'm having those conversations as I'm out in the public. Any of the summits or committees that I can be a part of, I'm trying to be a part of them. I do know specifically with Saginaw Valley, with their students, they do have help that they will help with housing for their students specifically. When it comes to out-of-town non-college applicants, a little more difficult, but still trying to work on that housing with them. It's a huge issue, we know that. Little difficult to work, but it's a case-by-case thing, and as much as I possibly can, I'm helping them with the housing, childcare, and transportation issues.
Gotcha. And have you worked at all with the Realtors Association at all? Has there been any engagement there with them?
Yes, a couple of our realtors, yes, not necessarily the Realtor Association, but a couple of our realtors, that's one of my goals for 2025. One of the demographics that I want to continue to work with is realtors, especially if they have someone from out of town coming here. Let's figure out how we can connect the two.
Wonderful. And this isn't going to be a question, but more of a statement. I would love to see some collaboration between the city, higher ed, and maybe Hay Bay City about eventually getting student housing into the city, because we have thousands of people at SVSU, at Northwood, and even some at Delta who are not from this area, who I'm sure they would fall in love with the city if they actually live here. I know from my prior professional experience working with students at SVSU, if you talk to someone who's going there from Detroit or Southeast Michigan, sometimes they don't get to Bay City at all, and exposing them to what we have to offer would be a significant attraction to keeping people in the Great Lakes Bay region, and specifically in city of Bay City.
That's absolutely fantastic and directly where several groups, including our Downtown Development Authority and Downtown Management Board, have been working collectively with SVSU for exactly that. And I love your idea of the housing. So Commissioner, I think we should definitely work together on that project.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Coakley.
Short and quick. This is the last year of the funding with the city and the county, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it was stated before that you guys already have the funding to continue on without the city or county's involvement or financially?
So the city set the funding and approved our funding contract, and through ARPA guidelines, we have through December 31st of 2026 to spend down those funds. We have funds with the county where those funds are already in our account and we are spending them down. The city, on the other hand, we spend it, reach out with a request for reimbursement, review of the contract, ensuring each and every invoice and statement is reviewed, and then we get reimbursed for that. We're currently working on the spend down plan right now, where we'll be bringing that forward to the next quarterly meeting of the Hay Bay City Committee. It is likely that we will expend those funds by the end of 2025, but it is possible that we will have the ability to have some funding available of this funding through 2026 Q1, and depending on how we expend those dollars and what process. So we're looking at making some tweaks. When we launched this, while we did get the approval in 2022, the official go live of the marketing didn't happen until 2023. So we're still kind of in beta testing where we're saying what type of marketing works best, what is connecting best with the people that currently live here as a retention, but also the people outside our area from an attraction standpoint. It is not going to be a short-term game. We're not going to see immediate results. This is looking at planting seeds to have them grow over the next 2, 4, 6, 10, 15, and 20 years. This is one initiative of many, but we're all going to need to work together collectively on multiple solutions that are multifaceted, beyond just workforce, beyond just marketing. We have larger challenges to tackle, which I know some of you are going to be talking about tonight, so I'm not going to belabor that. But know that we're hearing that from the business community, that we have a lot of work to do to be able to ensure that we have sustainability of their businesses for the long term, because that sustainability of their businesses is the sustainability of our residents and the people who work there and rely on that. So we're trying very hard. If there's things that we can do to improve, we want to partner with you in that together. This is a partnership. And so through Commissioner Hilliker, please share your recommendations and ideas, because I view us as a team where we're collaborating. This is not of us and you. This is we together. So as you have ideas on how we can improve, please share them. We're willing to listen.
Just so after Q1 of 2026, what's the plan
We have
financially?
funding that's set aside from funders that we'd received from McLaren, Dow, and SVSU, and we're looking at a potential long-term strategy on how we can leverage this into a potential regional initiative. We believe that the seeds that you have allowed us to plant with this amazing ARPA funding should not stop, because we have to continue to tell the stories of our businesses. We have to continue to tell the story of our residents. We have to continue to tell the story of why it's great to work and live here. Yes, we have challenges. Every community does. It is how we come together and focus on opportunities from a positive way that's going to get people to want to come and join us here. If we tackle things from a negative standpoint or a blame standpoint, that's not going to help us achieve this retention and attraction initiative. We have to do this together collectively, and we believe that a regional approach is going to be a great way to make this happen.
Thank you, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Any other commissioners have comments? Commissioner Runberg.
Yeah, it's just kind of a quick question. It's on that digital marketing analytics. Do we know what the two aberrations were on there, the two blips that we see that are real high traffic drivers? It'd be page 7, I believe, slide 7. Right there. Do you know what those are? Because that's Just seems like it's an aberration. If it's real high traffic, is there some sort of special piece of content we put out there that really drove traffic, or what was that?
I'm not sure off the top of my head what caused that, but I'd be happy to look into it and let you know so we can see what drove that traffic.
Exactly. That's all I had. Thank you.
All right, all set, commissioners? All right, thank you all for coming. We appreciate your time, and keep up the good work. All right, before we have next item of business of closed session, the city manager wanted to make a statement.
I know a lot of you in the audience are probably here about the bridge increase that most of you probably got notification on today, saw through social media, heard it in the local coffee shops. I just wanted to make a statement because we are going into closed session. We will be gone for a bit, and I'm worried if most of you are waiting to talk for public comment. So I just want everybody to know that we understand that residents, non-residents, and all of our businesses are upset. It's 100% understandable. We're upset as well. None of us sitting in front of you think this is a good thing. So I want you all to understand that we are upset. We found out this morning, just like everyone else. We found out on social media. We weren't notified. No one called City Hall. We weren't given a heads up that this price increase was coming. My opinion, and probably everyone's opinion that's sitting up here, that's definitely an issue. That's wrong. So at this point, we are exploring what rights we have as a city. After a preliminary review of myself and of our city attorneys, or not city attorneys, but our specialized attorneys that worked on the contract, we believe that Bay City Bridge Partners didn't follow the correct process. Our attorneys are currently very well engaged, and we will continue to investigate and will keep everyone informed. Once we know more, we will put a statement out from the city to let you know what our next steps are. I also want you to know that we are working closely with our Bay Area Chamber of Commerce because they represent the businesses. And we would love to work with Bay Future because they also incorporate a lot of people in our district. So we're going to work with these groups that we have and see what we can do together and come out with a strong answer.
Okay, and I know there's some folks from the audience. Unfortunately, at this time, we don't have time, an opportunity for public comment, but it will be after closed session. So the next order of business is closed session regarding Warner Norcross and Judd Attorney Dennis Langland concerning the legal opinion on the status of revenue bonds. A motion to go into closed session. Commissioner Prince?
Motion to go into closed session.
All right, second, Commissioner Coakley?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Coakley.
Yes.
Bernie Obershaw.
Yes.
Tenney.
Yes.
Hilliker.
Yes.
DeWitt.
Yes.
Rumberg.
Yes.
Charlebois.
Yes.
Morris.
Yes.
Prince.
Yes.
9 yes.
All right, thank you.